I don't know if you like singling out players, Harry, but who's the best player you ever managed?
I suppose, Gareth had a spell, Gareth Bale, when I was at Tottenham with him, where he was just unplayable. He had that spell when we went to Milan and he destroyed Maicon in both home and away. And
I don't know if you know, Harry, it's 10 years ago today.
Yeah, well, it's scary.
The 3-1 win, the taxi for Maicon night.
Yeah. But both games, he absolutely murdered him. And the amazing thing about the second game, I mean, we went out to, what he did when we were 4-0 down. He came back, got the hat-trick and absolutely destroyed Maicon out in Milan. And I thought, well, the second game at home, Rafa Benitez is going to shut off that side. He's either going to play maybe another fullback in front of him or certainly a defensive player, and they're going to make sure that we couldn't get the service out to Gareth. They'd stop him getting it to feet, but at the same time, they wouldn't and I thought they'd really fill up that side of the pitch, but they didn't. They played with a very, very narrow diamond, and they had no one out there. The guy who played on the right, the diamond was stuck right in here. And we really we were 2 against 1 all night against him at home, and I felt sorry. It was as though Benitez didn't like him and Rafa sort of hung him out to dry,
I was wondering that because I watched it back last night, and the ball is like a magnet to Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
And time again, I was wondering, was it a managerial masterclass where you managed to conjure up tactics that suddenly he was isolated, or was it?
No, I just think it was on their part where they've suddenly left him out there with Benoit coming forward from left back with absolutely only one player on that side of the park from them, Maicon, left out to get roasted. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the way they set up really for that game. You'd have thought, well, hang on, we've got to stop him. You do a man-to-man job on him, even stick someone on him or stick someone in front. So we always got 2 in a rack. We're not going to let him get the ball. But it was the exact opposite. They let him get it, and he just kept going past him and destroyed him. Almost ruined his career, didn't he?
It feels strange now when you look at Gareth Bale and the last 6 months or so and his time at Real Madrid and people questioning his professionalism. When you look at what he's gone through, and you probably saw him in Southampton, Harry, when he's at the academy, and then when you come in at Tottenham, he's that real strange spell where he can't get on a winning team. He's coming off the bench. He's a left back. Nobody's quite sure. When is the moment where you think, bloody hell, this guy is going to surpass anything I could have ever imagined?
Well, I'll best be honest. I went to watch Tottenham play when I was managing Portsmouth. They were playing Fulham away, and I went to the game with Joe Jordan because we were playing Spurs the week after, or might have been playing Fulham the week after. Anyway, I was at the game, and he played left wing back that day, and he was fantastic. And I said to Joe, "What a player he looks," But still, they didn't win. They were leading 4-2, or we ended up 4-0 or whatever. He just couldn't get on a winning team. Whatever team he played in at Tottenham, they either drew or lost. And he's a quiet lad, He's not a boy he's not a big character, outgoing character. And I think his confidence was pretty low when I went there. Really, I think people hung that on him. He hasn't been on a winning team. Even Alex Ferguson said to me, "I wouldn't play him." He said 20 odd games, never been on a winning team. He said he must be a bok. He said I wouldn't pick him. But, I knew he was a talent. And, again, once we pushed him forward, I think he probably would have become the best left back in the world at that time. But I ended up moving him forward and he became the best left winger in the world at that particular time, So he was an amazing talent. I was a big fan of Luka Modric as well. Luka I just thought he was a fantastic footballer. He's
a lovely player, wasn't he?
Real player, yeah. Then I had the kids like Rio and that, and, Frank and them boys, but them two were very, very special.
Glenn, you knew as well that night that Gareth Bale was destined for even greater things. You're in the Sky studio, and afterwards it goes to you and you say, this guy's going to end up at Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I think the performances he was putting in, it was just special.
Yeah.
And as we say, it was a strange one in a way because it wasn't like he was 17 years of age and he hit the lights straight away like a Michael Owen or a Rio and other players. But it took him time, and it was probably, like Harry says, I met him the other day actually after he came back. It was at the Grove playing golf. He was in a charity event, and he seemed quite nervous. He seemed having a chat. You thought, well, like you're saying, Harry, it was probably his character that held him back when he was younger. And it's only now that he's gone through all this at Madrid. That was my worry when he went to Madrid, to be honest.
Me.
I think his talent was always going to be good enough, but
yeah,
was he going to be able to live, with that Ronaldo in his team and the Real Madrid factor and settling outside of the game and outside of the training pitches? Was he going to settle in as a person and embrace the culture over there? I think that was what I thought might stop him being successful, but no, he was fantastic. If you look at the stats for Gareth whilst he was at Madrid, it's absolutely out of this world. And I think he was, I'm scratching my head to understand why it all went so wrong with him and Zidane or whoever it was in Madrid, Harry. I can't understand it, because I thought he was contributing, more than anyone in many ways.
Yeah, and he's not the type of lad you could see yourself having a problem with, Glenn. He's a very quiet lad, plays his football, goes home to the family. Obviously, he's got into his golf now, which is no bad thing for, enjoys a game of golf.
It's certainly put out there like it's a bad thing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, but Harry Kane's mad keen on his golf. He loves his golf. It's got to be better for him to go and be playing golf than go and going out having a drink in the afternoon or doing whatever else. They're not doing any harm while they're out getting fresh air, having a game of golf. We're not talking about playing on Thursday, Friday before Saturday. We're talking about early in the week having a game of golf. So I don't see that as a problem. But you wouldn't see him ever being a problem to anybody, Gareth.
Yeah. By the sounds of it, he didn't change then over that fortnight when he scores the hat-trick coming back. First
not
off
at all.
No. Destroys Maicon.
No. Very quiet, very... I gave one. We'd had a fortnight with no game, and I said to him, "Look, go and have a break. You'd had a lot of games. Have 4 or 5 days. Go away for 5 to 6 days. Come back next Monday, ready for train." He just went back to his parents in Wales. He wasn't one for getting on a private plane, going off somewhere to Ibiza or something. That wasn't his game.
For an awful lot of Spurs fans, even with the run to the Champions League final a couple of years ago, they look back on that spell as their favourite time, and the atmosphere around White Hart Lane, starting with Peter Crouch's goal against Manchester City to qualify, leading on to some of the victories like that night with Maicon, Joe Jordan and Gennaro Gattuso going head to head. Living through it. Was it as enjoyable on the inside as it looked like it was from the outside?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was amazing. Fantastic time. I remember beating Newcastle one night, being 5-0 up at half time. When Newcastle, I think, were third in the league at the time, going into that game late in the season. And the football first half was amazing. Gareth and Luke and Modric and Rafa van der Vaart, good players, Ledley King was an amazing player. So, I was very lucky. I had a good team, had good players, and we played some great football, very attacking football. And whoever came to White Hart Lane, in them European games, we went for it. We really went after teams and attacked teams and scored goals. And, it was great time for me.